Until the dollar chart physically goes below support resistance and breaks structure, it's not baked in.
I'm not a financial advisor.
Investors' renewed focus on inflation data as Fed weighs size of expected Fed cut. This is exactly what we were talking about. Wednesday's consumer price index for August may end up being the deciding factor. So this is what we're waiting for. This you guys see the setup? You see what they do? They get it to where you're not possibly going to do it to the last second. The morning of, we're going to get this report, and it's going to determine everything. The CPI is the CPI, Consumer Price Index, may end up being the deciding factor. So this is this week. When's the 18th? That's next week? Oh, it's this Wednesday. It's not before. Never mind. Next Wednesday is the FOMC meeting. This Wednesday is the CPI. So if the CPI is really bullish, then that actually means that we might start running going into the Fed. You didn't hear my prediction, did you, AJ? I believe we're getting a 50-point rate cut. I think we are. We looked at the numbers. It's 27% odds. And just lining up with everything that's going on with Bitcoin, like if you go with the history of these Fed cuts, now the Fed pivot video, hopefully we got that out yet, or by now, excuse me. And you guys got a little insight onto why it's not exactly as bearish as everybody's saying, okay? But a 50-point rate cut would exactly pick Bitcoin up exactly when it should start running according to the cycle. And a 50-point cut would be really bullish and get people excited. Whereas a 25 is already baked in and we expect it. And a 25 will actually be a little disappointing and bring the price down some. Well, do you know the average amount of days that the market bottoms after a rate cut to the downside? Well, it's a huge, it's a pivot. It's a pivot, yeah. Yeah.
But it's also like people are already starting to say the worst. Thank you. I think that there is a lot of people obviously are really zoomed in on this specific FOMC meeting, and that makes sense because it's a pivot. But I'm already starting to see questions like, is this baked in? Are we baked in, baked in, baked in? And I keep seeing that, and I'm like, well, I don't think so at all, because if you look at the dollar chart, the dollar is still sitting above crucial support resistance. It is far down below and could turn around and lose support resistance. But until the dollar chart physically goes below support resistance and breaks structure, it's not baked in. And I also think that we are going to give a lot of credit to this one, of course, but of course it's the FOMC after that, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Once there's a pattern, then we'll actually start seeing the effects in the market. And that's kind of what I'm like, does this one matter? Of course it matters, but it's more of the pattern of a bunch of them together 6-7 months down the street. And that's kind of what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Look, here's the thing. What we did in our video, what shows is it does bottom after the pivot, even to the downside, but it's only 5 to 20 days. It's 5 to 20 days. It's not months down the road, which means by the end of September, we should be bullish, or the very beginning of October, right? That's what I think. And I think the charts are kind of showing that.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, we're going to let you come up and show some charts here in just a second.
Sure.
The August jobs report did little to set the debate. Of course, you saw the story we just read said that it was a big factor. August CPI report could be the factor. It's going to confirm or not confirm, also known as could confirm expectations for a 50 basis cut, the biggest cuts in a very long time. So we need to watch CPI Wednesday morning. That's what we need to be watching for. So look, guys, people are looking for him to talk about how fast things are softening. I tell you, doesn't take long after you're done. With the Fed cuts, guys. I'm talking about rate cuts. Come on, guys. For now, Wall Street is expecting CPI to add to a recent string of good news on inflation. So Wall Street is betting good news on CPI. So this is why the Fed cut, the Fed watch thing is very interesting, because if they're saying that, then it seems like the odds for a 50 point should be much better. If they're saying the CPI is going to be bullish, and they're saying the 50 rate cut could depend on how good the CPI is. So very interesting stuff.